Jamie. Welcome back. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today besides tractors and four-wheelers and hunting. With downtime in the summer, we have a lot of cookouts and get-togethers, and one thing that's always fun to play and competitive is cornhole. And the cornhole game, which you mean by your corn bags and your 2x4 boards. But most boards that you buy are very cheap and very thin, and they're just like a novelty board that you could carry camping or somewhere. But here at the house we have a lot of cookouts, and we're going to build a set of regulation competition boards. Now what we're going to have today, we got our 4 2x4s that they're 8 foot long. Going to be cutting them up. Everybody recommends birch. Birch is supposed to be a real good wood, so this is 1/2 inch 2 foot by 4 foot. We're probably going to be putting our Piney logo on it, Pine Life logo, and staining them up. So what we're going to need for this is two 2x4 sheets of 1/2 inch birch. It's got a finish, real nice finish side. 4 2x4 by 8 2x4s, 2 3/8 by 4 inch long carriage bolts, lock nuts, and washers. We're going to be screwing the top down. We're going to have a countersink, 1 5/8 screws to hold the top down. We'll need a 6-inch hole saw. You can use a jigsaw, but I have a hole saw. Drill, of course, for that. We have the wood putty for when it's done. We're going to smooth it up and sand it with 220 grit sandpaper. And then I've got a couple small cans of stain here. I've got early American and natural. And then we're going to be putting several coats of semi-gloss polyurethane so the bags will slide good. Now these would be our long boards that we've done cut, which I got 2x4 by 8 foot boards. So once you mark your 48, you're good to go. Double check that they're right on. Now for your top and bottom board, your foot plate and your top, you're gonna have to subtract, which 2x4 is 1.5 inches wide. So basically it's 24, so you're gonna take 2 1/2 inches, which is 3 inches, and then minus it off, that'll make 21. So I have to have 4 2x4 at 48 inches long, and I'm gonna have to have 4 2x4s by 21 inches long. I need 4 total of those. So I'm gonna get these marked, and then we'll move to the saw and cut everything and come back and try to fit. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and cut our legs. Now regulation says that you cut them 12 1/4, and then we'll have to radius them with the jigsaw after we're done. But right now I'm just gonna mark 4 legs at 12 1/4, and that way we can get everything cut and back inside to work. So I'm gonna mark these legs at 12 1/4, and I won't bore you with it. We'll get them all cut, and then we'll have our cut pieces. Now, as far as the legs, we've got these at 12 1/4. This will be radiused once we've drilled, but you got to have an angle on the bottom. Now, I'm going to set it on 25 degrees because that's what it calls for. But if you don't have, a compound miter saw, you can actually measure from here. You can measure 10 and 5/8 would be your mark, and then take you a square and just go from corner to that line, and that will give you the angle you need. But in this case, we'll cut them on the saw. So I'm gonna move around to 25 degrees. There we go. Ooh. Line up our blade. Laid out and our board's in, this will be our leg that kicks out and keeps the board level from jumping. So I'll mark the rest of these at 10 5/8 and cut them, and we'll be good to go. Okay, now that we have everything cut, I've got my countersink set at 2 inches. I have, just so we get a clean look, no wood busting when we go in. We have our 48-inch side boards cut. We have our 21-inch boards to finish the box. And then we have our legs with our 25-degree angle. We have all those. So the legs will be another step. Now, I've got these pieces of angle iron that I use for several different things. I'm going to use these as a squiring jig. So, set one on the outside. And it's always, you know, if you ain't got a table, I got sawhorses and a piece of insulation. I've got a lot of them done on the enclosed trailer, so I got some of this left. So I'm going to, this little board, it's sturdy, but makes it a whole lot easier on jigging stuff up or making the table to hold it. So we're going to put that in the corner. Take a clamp. Pull that tight. Another clamp. Now, that gives us a true square. I'll show you, zoom in close. You can see that's a good square flush mount. I mean, that angle iron really trues that corner up. Now, to mark these legs to where we want our 3/8 carriage bolt to go, you just mark, since this, you're going to come down 1 3/4 inches. So mark 1 3/4 inches here, and we're going to come over 1 3/4 inches, which is here. So that gives 1 3/4 inches that way. A little bit more than what I wanted. 1 3/4 inches. 1 3/4 inches. Okay, there'll be a 3/8 carriage bolt going through this. So we're going to drill. It's another good thing about having this stuff, you can drill right through it. So we have our leg hole. Now this works really good tape. You're just going to come up, we want it to be round. So your center, 3/4, center this up. That's going to give us our rotation. Take a jigsaw. Now my blade wasn't long enough, so I'm going to flip it over. Mark it from the other side also. We'll take our sander here in a minute and sand these off nice and flat. So I'll do the other 4 and then we'll get to installing them. Okay, now for our leg, we have our leg here that we're going to mount. Now what we're going to do is mark 4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. Then take our 3/8. Go through. This leg, when this board's up, will be kicked back. We're going to put that there. And I have a 3/8 4-inch carriage bolt. We'll run that through. Let's see. Yep. All right. Take a 3/8 washer. And I got these locking bolts so it won't, or locking nuts, so it won't back off. 3/8. And now we'll drill the other side and see what it looks like before we mount our top. We're good and flush. So before I impact down, I'm gonna mount that side. Okay, as you can see, the carriage bolt sticks out, so you just want to take your rubber mallet, hold on to it. Right. 9/16 on an impact. Pull it in. Back off 1 turn. Same way on the opposite side. Now, we have our angles. That's the correct angle for the board. Now we'll move on to mounting tops and drill on the hole. Okay, now we have our legs and our top in place. Everything's squared up, nice and neat. I'm going to slide it out to the side to put my clamp on. Good and flush. Alright. Put that clamp on. What we're going to do, we know we're going to countersink these. So 48, let's say 24 will come across this way. So I'm going to put one at 1 inch, 6 inch, 12 inch, 23 inch. Take that back. 6 inch, 12 inch, 18 inch. That way our boards are, our screws are more symmetrical. And that board is 1.3 inches, 1.5 inches. So, yeah, 1.5 inches. So we're gonna go 3/4 inches in and countersink these holes. It's half our 2x4 width. I'm not really worried about the outside marks because I'm actually going to be lightly sanded 220 grit sandpaper. So we'll swap over to our counter bit. We're going 2 inches in, so I've got the counter set at 2. Alright, so we'll go 2-inch depth. Nice. I'm going to be wood filling these back in, so if they're a little low, that's okay. Must hit a screw. Alright, so we'll follow this board around every 6 inches and we'll be right back. Okay, now regulation says that we have to be 9 inches from top and 12 inches from side to get our 6-inch hole. So we measured 9 inches by 12. Now I'm going to be using a dozer hose saw 6-inch, but if you don't have this, you can take your circumference marker or something at 6 inches and put over this. Drill your 3/8 hole and then jigsaw it out. I just opted to go with the dozer to try to get the hole more perfectly round. Well, here we go. Might not work with the dozer. Well, I suggest if you're going to use a drill, you'll want to put a handle on a breaker handle, because that could get away from real quick. Drilling in 1 was not going to work. It was really grabbing, but 2 went through a whole lot better, just kind of pushing up and down. So that's basically our board. Now what we've done, we'll duplicate the other one, but now all of these are drilled 6 inches apart, 3/4 inches in. We have our 9x12 hole, which is our 9x12, which is a 6-inch hole for regulations, and I'll sand it down. We have our legs installed, and that, my friends, is a regulation board built to spec. So now I'll finish up the other board, and then we will go to sanding and staining. And we're going to make something pretty cool out of these boards. I think we're going to put our logo and stuff, but that's it for the first board. Well, the video is going to be pretty lengthy, so we're going to bust it up into 2 episodes. This is the finish of episode 1. Episode 2 will be coming up with all the staining and varnishing and stuff. So hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for episode 2, And as always, God bless.